Lori with Rockenco Crafts. I want to thank you for joining me. The first thing I want to do in today's video is show you 3 new molds that my eldest son and his wife got for me. The first one is Dream. We have one that says Love, and then one that says Family. And I'm excited about these molds. But in today's video, I want to pour the Family mold. So let me set these aside. And this mold holds 100 milliliters. I measured it with water, 100 milliliters for this mold. But what I want to do is I also want to pour the little square coaster mold, because I have a photograph of my eldest son, his wife, and their children that I want to place in here. And on the word family, because they are real outdoorsy. They love nature. They're always out hiking, fishing, boating, swimming, whatever. If it's outdoors, they enjoy doing it. So I want to try to make this kind of a nature scene. And to do that, I have some small rocks, and I'm not going to fill it completely full of rocks. I just want to try to put a few little rocks down on the bottom. I also have some flowers that I've dried, and they're small flowers. I want to see if I can't strategically place some of those in here. And I want to see if I can use one of the small, this is the Let's Resin Butterfly and Moth collection. And there's all different sizes, and these are just beautiful. But they also have some small ones. And I think at least one small one should fit in the letter A of family. Also looks like a heart, but I think a butterfly might fit in there, where I don't think it's going to fit into these because these are really, really thin. But once I get this poured and it's cured, and this poured and it's cured, I actually want to mount them on this piece of wood. And I have treated this wood with the Mod Podge, the matte finish. I just didn't want it real glossy, so I don't know why, I just didn't. So I have already treated this, and this is actually like 11.75 inches by 3.5 inches by approximately a half an inch. It's a piece of wood that I had around here, so I want to use it. I hang on to things for a while, knowing that eventually I will use them, and usually I do. But what I hope to do is, once the resin's cured and out of the mold, I hope to be able to put together some kind of a display, some kind of just a gift from the heart, because they're always giving me stuff like these molds. And I mean, he's the one that gave me all the fishing gear, 3D stuff. He's just forever giving me things to use in resin. But those are my plans for today. I'm going to go ahead and get some resin mixed up, and then we will get this party started. See you shortly. I have the resin mixed up, and before I get started with the pour, I wanted to point out something that try to point out something that I saw in the family mold. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm trying to get it into the light. There are a couple of scratches on this mold. Unfortunately, I can't seem to show it on the camera, but there are a couple of scratches on this mold. So more than likely those will show up on the other side, but that's okay. If it's not perfect, neither are we. I want to start with the little coaster, because this is the one I do have a photo that I want to put in it. And because the back of the photo is black, and I have coated this with 2 coats of the Mod Podge on both sides, but because the back is white, I want to actually pour some blue in here, because I'm thinking about the sky. So what I've done is I've mixed 20 milliliters of resin with this light blue. This is just a pretty blue mica. I mean, it looks kind of light in the jar, but it's a little bit darker when you mix it, but it's just absolutely beautiful. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and get this poured because it does need to set for a few hours before I can put the photo in. So let me see if I can get that out. Let me see if I can use my other hand. I want to try and get every bit of it out. And I may just need to use a bigger stick. This stick is not working. So let me go ahead and use this one, and then I will clean it off before I touch any more resin with it. But I want to get this in and spread out and hope it's enough. It was hard to see on my measuring cup, the measuring cup I chose to use. It's hard to read the numbers once you get the resin in there. I'm going to get every little drop out, and then I'll spread it out and then move this out of my way, and we'll start on the other one. Let me get this cleaned off. So I'm going to need it for the other one. All right, let's see about getting this spread. And I just want a thin layer, just something to hide the white on the back of the photo. And I mixed a total of 80 because I wanted 20 for this. I'm going to pour 60 in the other one, and I do want to add some rocks and other stuff. But I also want to back the family with, I don't know if I'm going to use this mica. I really think it's pretty. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to use that or if I'm going to use some aquamarine pigment. We'll see. It's one of those things I have to just wait and see before I make that pour. But that's what I want to use to back the family. So again, that it looks like there's some sky. All right, let me clean this off and get my dotting tool around in there. It's just a little thin layer, which is all I want. But I do want to go around the edges just to check for bubbles or get rid of any bubbles so that I don't get bubble pits. All right, I'm going to set that aside, scooch it back here, and let's go ahead and get this one up here. I think I'm going to go ahead and see, this is what I was talking about. You can't see the measurements very well, so I'm hoping that's 20. If not, it's pretty close. I'm going to go ahead and I think just go ahead and start pouring this and let it start spreading. And I may need to mix some more. I don't know. I've never used this mold. If I do, I do. I just want to kind of, whoops, not make a mess. See if I can't get it all in there and just let it spread around and hope it's not too, I don't think it's going to be too much. You never know. I'm going to add some rocks, and that's going to cause it to move up a little bit, but I don't plan on adding a whole bunch of rocks. So let me get that in there and move that cup out of the way. Alrighty. I think I should probably go ahead and take my dotting tool around. Again, I've never used this mold, and I really, really don't want bubble pits. It's a little fuller than I had anticipated, but it should be hopefully fine as long as I have room to put a small layer of either pigment or mica to dome it. All right, let me get that out. I'm going to clean this off just a little bit. Let me get a fresh towel. And then I will get the flowers and stuff out. Now, I did decide that, let me see if I can pull this up. It is so pretty. I decided I want to try to put a monarch in here. We will see how that goes. First thing I want to do is see if I can gently, I just want to pour just a few rocks at the bottom of each of these letters. And I will scooch them around when I come back in, if I can get them in the letters and not all over the mat. I may need to add more. I don't know. I won't know until I get ready to scooch them around. I think I'm getting more on the mat than I am in the mold. And these are just teeny tiny rocks that I picked up outside. I wash and I put them in a bag for later use. All right, let me scooch some of these around. Get these off the mat. Maybe put them in there too. And I'll move them around. Especially the ones I just threw way up here. I'm hoping they stay kind of put toward the end. Maybe I should have put them in first. I don't know. Scooch that one in. See if I can't get it at the bottom of that letter. Because I actually want to put some other stuff in here, the foliage in here, the flowers and stuff. I may have to work on this one. It seems to have a mind of its own. I just want just a little bit of rock, kind of like the ground at the bottom of the mold. And I may need to add some more rocks down here. I think I do. Yeah, let me add a few more rocks down here. Let's see if I can just put them there and scooch them around. Still need a few more in here. Let me scoot them this way and see what I've got. Put those down and scooch them again. I want to make sure they're all coated. All right, I think that'll work. So let me move this. I'm just going to pour these out on the mat because I don't know how I want them placed or anything. I just picked out a bunch of the small ones, and some of these, I think at least one is coated. But I do want the butterfly, and I will have to reposition the butterfly. I'm going to actually kind of, and if you notice, I did bend the wings because I want it to look like it's flying, but I'm turning it upside down. And if I can find a little flower or something for right there, that'd be cool. So let me see what I think I want to do. And I have my scissors out so that I can do any trimming if I need to. because I think I would like to, like, maybe put something like this up in the F. But let me give it a trim and try to do that away from my resin, because I don't want little pieces popping in if at all possible. Let me see if I can fit that in the F. I also have, I believe, y'all, that this is lemon thyme. This is actually a little baby carrot top. I'm growing carrots in the garden, and I just like the way the leaves look. I don't want to put it in the Y. Maybe I put it in the I. Let me trim the bottom stem off of that and see if I can get it to kind of fit in there. And if so, I want it that way. And that's not, I want it in the L or the I. I think the L. Let me see if I can scooch that in there. I need to scoot it down. I don't want to be able to see the stem. Now I want to try to find just the right flower for down here. I don't think that's it. This is cute. Let me see. What else do I have? This is a little bitty flower. I wonder if that will work. Let me see what I can do. Let me see if I can get it to flip over in there for me. It sure doesn't want to, does it? Let me see if I can flip it like that. Grab that little extra piece that fell off out. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Let me fix the butterfly. I really want that butterfly not exactly on the flower. Alrighty. Other flowers and leaves that I have. This is like, it's a honeysuckle. Do I want to put it in there? I think I do. I kind of dip it a little bit because Bubbles may decide it wants to come out of that. I also have these really cute, let me see if I can pick it up. These are little bitty red flowers off of, I call it a butterfly bush. I don't really know what the correct terminology is, but I would love to just kind of sprinkle some of those about too. I just don't know where yet. I feel like I need something down here in the M or over here. Let me see what else we have over here. It's a cute little bitty flower. I go a little crazy when it comes to the flowers outside. I keep picking them, and either I'll put them, oh, this one's cute. I will put them in, oh, this one is so cute. Oh, where do I want to put it at? Anyway, I'll either put them in books and press them, or I will put them in the silica and dry them. What else? Excuse me. I really like these little red flowers, and these little purple flowers are actually flowers left over from the wedding bouquet that I did. But they're cute, they're pretty. They actually look like they come apart. Maybe not. Let me see if I can cut the end off and see if I can just make a bunch of little petals or something out of it. I'm going to do it over here. I'm trying hard not to get this in my resin. Better do it over here. No, that did not work. I mean, they're pretty little purple things, but that did not work. I like these cute little yellow flowers, and I don't know if I can take them off and place them in here. I'm just trying to figure out how I can use these flowers that I just really love. Here's the little red one. Let me see if I can put it in there without it falling completely apart. I have a lot of flowers and not enough room. Fix that butterfly. I really hope there's no bubbles under this butterfly. Let me see if I can pick this little yellow flower off and just kind of drop it in there. Maybe drop it and twist it. Get it off the tweezers. They're just so dainty and so cute. And a little difficult to work with, but I really think they're cute. All right, I don't have anything in the Y. I have some leaves here. Don't think they'll fit. I like greenery. Let me see if I can cut a leaf or two off. Let me turn that around. What else do I have here that I can place in this? I don't want to overwhelm it, but I do want it to look cute. And it may or may not. I never know until I'm done. Here's another piece that hasn't bloomed yet, and that's the honeysuckle. I don't know if that's just... All right. Do I want anything else, or have I just... Here's a little teeny tiny leaf. I love leaves. Well, I really thought that I would end up placing more in there than I did. But again, I don't want to overwhelm it either. And it looks like I still have quite a bit of room in here. So what I may do, because I really don't want the colored resin, whether I use the mica or the pigment, I don't want it actually touching the foliage I put in here. So I may actually let this cure for a few hours, just like I have to let this one cure for a few hours, and then pour... Oh, I need something right there. And then pour another little layer of the clear, as long as I save room for a backing. I have a little room in here that I just saw, and I want something in there. Let me see if I can pick that up. I don't think I want that in there. What about this? I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Anyhow, what I will do is I'm going to let both of these cure for a few hours. I'll come back in, put the photo in here, and probably dome it. We'll see. Pour another 20 to 40 milliliters in here because I have plenty of room and I don't want the backing to actually touch the flowers, because then it's going to look all squishy. And I want it to look more 3D. And I will probably do that off camera. And then when I'm ready to back the family, when I'm ready to back this, I'll come back on. So I'm going to do that. It'll take another 2 to 3 hours for that to cure enough for me to back it. But then I will see you then. See you in a minute. So this is what I've done. I went ahead and let the photograph completely cure. I did top it or dome it, and I let it completely cure. And I went ahead and unmolded it. Let me tell you why I decided to do that. The reason I decided to do it is because I really wanted to kind of put the back of this against here, because I couldn't decide if I wanted to use the mica or the pigment. I'm afraid that even though this is a really pretty blue, I'm really afraid that it's going to make it too dark. So I think that I have landed on the pigment. I've mixed up 60 milliliters of resin. Before I start the pour or anything, I never did really give you a look down here. I don't know how well you can see it with the glare of the light, but I thought I would give you a really good look to see what we're working with. All right, let's go ahead and get this party started. I want to start with the gloves. I wanted to take them off while handling the photograph. I didn't want to take a chance on getting anything sticky on the photo. Let me go ahead and get these back on and move these out of the way. And this is what we have. This is 60 milliliters, and I put 20 drops of the pigment. Let me move that stick out of the way for a minute. But it's a real pretty blue. I hope that it's not too dark or too light. So let me try to carefully get this put in here. I want to go slow. I don't have a ton of room, but I have a little. Slow down. And then I will go around with my dotting tool, and it should be safe because this is actually, oh wow, y'all, I just really went overboard there. I'll fix it in a minute. Anyway, it should be safe to use the dotting tool around it because this is cured like overnight because I was waiting on the photograph. I'm trying to be careful here. I don't want another over pour. It's not a real dark blue, but kind of skyish, and that's what I'm looking for. Let me start by scooching it in the corners here and just seeing if I have any more room. Need to fix this down here too. This, I made a mess. Let me see if I can carefully. I'm usually not very good at this, but I want to try to just dab some off without making a big mess. And let me get a clean one. Oops. I guess I didn't need it near as much as what I mixed, but I would rather have too much than not enough. And I'm going to see if I can't get in here and clean up some of my mess or make a bigger one. We'll see what happens here. I just want to make sure that it's in every little nook and cranny. I'll have to clean off some more overspill on that one. Let me get this dry one again and try and dab off just some of it without introducing too many bubbles. Okay, that looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I just need to. No, that's on top. These are like dried on top. That's why. Okay, let me make sure. Yeah, that's just dried little Humpty Doos that I'll have to get off. And let me see if there's any other nook and cranny. And I'm also going to grab my flashlight and kind of look for bubbles. So let me grab my flashlight. Just makes it easier. There's some surface bubbles. I'll give it a spray here in a minute. That's not a bubble. Okay. All right, well, it's not as dark as it is in the cup, but it's just a little thin layer there. Let me go ahead and wipe this little spot. Oh, that's stuck. That's already cured, so that's what that is. Okay, I'm going to give it a spray. And then what I plan on doing is I'm going to let this, cure. And then when I get back, we can unmold it, and I'll unmold it, and then I will come back again and show you the finished product once I get the photo and this family on the piece of wood. So I will see you for the unmolding. See you shortly. It is time for the unmolding. But before I do that, a couple of things. First, I want to give a big thank you and a shout out to you, Julie. Thank you so much for this suggestion that you gave me for the 4th of July coasters. I never thought to do that, but I guarantee you what, I won't forget to do it in the future. Thank you so much for that. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. Thank you. Also, I wanted to mention that the molds, these 3 molds, I forgot to mention that my daughter-in-law purchased these, she said, from Michael's, the craft store. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can unmold this. And I do know I'm going to have to deal with some Humpty Doos before I try to do anything as far as attaching it to the wood. So let me see if I can carefully get this out. I've never unmolded this, so I don't know what to expect. I'm just trying to be gentle. I am curious as to how this looks. I mean, just from this side, I love the way it looks. See if I can get this out in the center here. Don't want to rip my mold. I will be pouring the love and the dream in the future. Also, stay tuned for a little short video in regards to a series that I'm planning on doing in the near future. Now, as I said, there are some Humpty Doos, but y'all, look how nice. Look how pretty those flowers are. Let me see if I can put a white background on it. There. Now it may be a little bit easier to see. I love the way that turned out. And that butterfly, oh, I like it. I don't know if you can, it just looks like it's landing or flying away. And the rocks at the bottom, I love rocks and resin. So I am going to trim the Humpty Doos on this, because there are several. And then see if I can't mount this somewhere on the wood as well as the photograph. And then when I get that done, I'll come back and show you the end results. So I will see you shortly. Well, here are the final results. And overall, I like the way it turned out. What I ended up doing was I actually used some of the E6000 to glue it down because I'm not a woodworker, and it seems to be staying in place, which is great. Now this photo, even though I know you can't see it clearly, and that is, for privacy reasons, that is a very special photo for my son and his family as well as us. That's why I included that one. But I really love the way this turned out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to thank you for watching and ask you to consider hitting the like, share, and subscribe buttons. And I am always welcome to the comments. The comments definitely encourage me to continue to move forward. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. Thanks.